2013, Mr. Peter Bertoldo.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I will be telling you the tale of how our senior prank came to be. Our class, though praised for many merits, academically and otherwise, is actually very deeply divided into unique factions. This is not to say that we don't like each other, simply that we have a hard time agreeing on those things. All year, we've been trying to decide on a realistic senior prank that would be fun and memorable. We actually started this discussion way back in the fall, but for months we had little to show for it. In December, we tried to make a senior lounge in the lobby by bringing in furniture the day before Christmas break, but word of this prank was leaked and the administration came to rain on our parade. We decided then that we would wait until much later in the year to execute our yet unplanned prank. We still suggested and mulled over ideas, some of them more brilliant than others. We discussed the reality of filling certain administrators' offices with packing peanuts, but the real gem was actually taking the school and pushing it somewhere else. As June approached, we were running out of steam. All of our ideas had been shut down by our classmates and by the laws of physics. Mostly everyone in the school, especially the senior class, was doubtful there would even be a prank. It wasn't until 2 nights before the last day of school that we got ourselves in gear and began brainstorming. We hadn't had much planned, but we thought we wanted to get into the school early to do something to the offices of our principal and vice principal. Of course, it was the custodial staff who rained on our parade this time. There was absolutely no way we were getting into the school before it officially opened. This caused some difficulties in our plan, but we continued to think of a way we could accomplish our goal of an extraordinary prank. There was much discussion on Facebook, but in the end, all we decided was that we would try to meet early in the morning on the last day with a lot of pranking materials. I spent hours blowing up hundreds of balloons. I now consider myself to be an expert at this, and my classmates scoured the nearest dollar stores for supplies. On the morning of our last day, it was the rain that rained on our parade, but that didn't dampen our spirits. We had an impressive turnout despite the torrential downpour, and I was amazed to see such a great representation of our class. People from every social group were there to work with one another because we all had a common goal. Athletes, scholars, and rebels were all gelling together to zip-tie lockers or saran-wrap doors. Kids from all over the personality spectrum joined in the last-minute effort to be remembered as the class that pranked the last day of school. The purpose of this story is not to promote procrastination, but to illustrate how our class came together to make the best out of a not-so-great situation. We came into high school a group of talented individuals with interests as different as our personalities, but we joined as one force to leave our mark on Attica Senior High. I've always known that our class is a very special class, but I didn't know that we could ever pull off something on such a large scale by working together. It took 4 years of high school and a shower of confetti, silly string, balloons, and glitter for me to realize how lucky I am to be in a class that is so united. It's been a pleasure learning and growing with all of you for the past few years. I treasure all the time we've spent together, in and out of school, and I wish you all the very best of luck with whatever you do. I'd like to thank the entire class of 2013 for making our years so unique and unforgettable. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce my classmate, dear friend, and fellow star kid, Whitney Marie Cale.
Hello everyone. Since elementary school, I thought I'd be racing with Greg George to rank either first or second in this class. Then all those kids from Prospect and Wyoming came in and made it even trickier. And even though I'm a little jealous of Greg and Peter, I feel guilty to be above the rest of the top 10 too. We all worked so hard to get here and pushed each other to be the best. The thing about school for myself and the rest of the top 10 and beyond is that succeeding was so much fun. There was much healthy competition getting to this point for all of us. My closest friends are the ones that were always in the honors classes with me, and within our group, getting good grades is exciting. There was always banter, this one's for you in the yearbook cast, but we made each other stronger and we made the journey comical. And I will say our group when referring to the honors kids, because I think that's how everybody sees us. I'll admit that our grade has cliques, but not with the expected negative connotations. The class of 2013 has defined friend groups, but I think in times when we needed to pull together for pep rallies or different groupings on sports teams, we became better friends with those people that we didn't necessarily see as often during the school day. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss you soccer girls, and I'm going to miss everyone in my history of rock and roll and drawing and painting classes, because you're the ones I'm afraid to admit that I won't be seeing much of beyond Facebook once we all head in different directions. And speaking of social media and friend groups within our class, I'll take this opportunity to notify anyone who hasn't heard that the 9th period film class made a movie called Attica Class of 2013 Senior Documentary that is up on YouTube. It interviews a mix of people from our class that fall under different cliques per se, so check it out. In spite of our minor divisions, I am thrilled to say that there's not a single person in our grade that I really dislike, and I hope that works in reverse. I know we all have differences of personalities, life goals, and friends, but from what I've seen over the years, the mix has been very balanced and pleasant. I'm glad that I got to spend these years with all of you, especially everyone that either A, went to Sheldon Elementary, or B, loves Harry Potter, because both of these things in my mind make someone just a little bit more connected to me. In conclusion, I would like to wish all my fellow graduates the happiest of lives. To me, this speech seems short, maybe because I am wishing the ceremony will last for days so I can stay a little longer. I truly love being at school, being surrounded by these fantastic friends and teachers and acquaintances, but I will not go into all their memories because it saddens me to be leaving them all behind. I hope someday I will look back at all the other stages of my life with the same fondness, and for those behind me who have been waiting for this day for years, and on those who find it bittersweet, I hope someday you find all the delight you are searching for. And now I invite the sensational Elsie, otherwise known as Lindsay Chamberlain, to the podium.
And good evening, everyone. 4 years ago, I had to make a decision. I had to choose where I would spend the next 4 years, where I would go to high school. I come from Wyoming, a very small school district, where students get to choose between 4 high schools because there isn't one in Wyoming. April 9th, 2009. That's when the paper was due. I remember because I looked at that paper for a long time. I knew that I didn't want to go to Pavilion or to Warsaw, but I had an A written on the paper. And I'm so glad that I wrote Attica. At that time, the choice actually came down to the number of miles from my house each school was. Attica was simply closer. And thank goodness it is, because I have so appreciated the tremendous opportunities here. I've been happy here. If someone were to describe me, they would probably mention how cheerful I am. My mom used to say that I woke up cheerful, spent my days happy, and went to bed with a smile on my face. Happiness isn't a mood for me. It's a lifestyle. Part of the reason that I am so glad I chose to attend Attica is happiness. You have all attributed to that. Friends, parents of friends, teachers, administrators, coaches. I've loved my 4 years here. I think I was lucky to have some truly excellent teachers and to meet so many good friends. The opportunities Attica students have are numerous, like Mr. Thompson said earlier. Sports teams, college classes, electives, our clubs, our pep rallies. School spirit is never lacking. As a new student 4 years ago, I felt welcomed. It was a very different environment for me. There were only 6 girls in my 8th grade class, 18 kids total. When I came here, I was entering a much bigger pond as a pretty small fish. But you guys made it possible. All these kids sitting behind me made it possible. Thank you for that. As a senior class, I think we've become very comfortable here in this school, familiar with these halls, friendly faces, our lockers, those constants that we see every day. But every single one of us is moving on. We all have to leave the little pond of Attica and jump into the ocean of the real world. Whether you're working next year, off to college, or joining the military, you are going to be a small fish in an enormous pond. Be brave. We can do it. I wish you all the very, very best, whatever you are doing next year. Make sure there are few things more important in life than happiness. I'm going to miss you all, but I am ready to move on, and I think you are too. I'd like to leave with a bit of advice. When facing a challenge, treat it as an opportunity, and then make the best of every opportunity. Find joy in the outcomes of all your endeavors, and good luck. I would now like to introduce my good friend and fellow Harry Potter fan, Christina Cutter.
Good evening, everyone. I spent a lot of time wondering what to talk about tonight. I mean, what could I possibly have to say that you would want to hear? If any of you have ever had to speak in front of a lot of people, you understand how nerve-wracking it can be. I mean, how am I supposed to come up with something that everyone listening would be interested in hearing? I was beginning to panic. But then I realized that it really doesn't matter if you're interested in hearing what I'm saying at all, because you have to stay listening. So I stopped worrying, and it became a lot easier to decide what I was going to say. I finally decided to share something with you tonight that I've enjoyed my whole life. Perks of being a nerd. Traditionally, being a nerd is a bad thing. We all remember the kids in cartoons getting their lunch money taken, having their heads shoved down toilets, and just being subjected to any number of different cruel and unusual schoolyard punishment. But to me, being a nerd has always meant something a little bit different. I've always kind of considered myself a bit of a nerd, and I'm sure anyone who's ever heard me freak out over the latest Harry Potter movie or gush over the book I read would agree, but it never really bothered me. I found a quote by John Green, one of my favorite authors, who put into words exactly how I feel about nerdiness. He said, "Nerds like us are allowed to be unironically enthusiastic about stuff. Nerds are allowed to love stuff, like jump up and down in your chair, can't control yourself, love it. When people call people nerds, mostly what they're saying is, you like stuff, which is not a good insult at all. Like, you are too enthusiastic about the miracle of human consciousness." That quote got me thinking, what is so bad about being excited about things? When did having a passion for something become uncool, and why should I, or why should any of us, have to feel bad about liking something? The answer is, we shouldn't have to feel bad at all. So I decided, instead of trying to hide my inner nerd, to embrace it. I'm Christina Cutter, I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it. And today, I stand in front of you to encourage you to do the same. Be enthusiastic about something. Pick something to love. It could be anything, from animals to sports, art, music, or video games. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're passionate about it. Just choose something and give it everything you have. And don't pay any attention to people who try to mock you for something you love. Because honestly, why should they get a say in your happiness? If you are lucky enough to find your passion, that thing that makes your mind race with excitement and gives you a purpose in life, hold on to it. And don't let other people tell you what is or isn't cool. In conclusion, I'd like to thank my family, friends, classmates, teachers, and anyone else who has played even the smallest of roles in helping me to become who I am today. And to my fellow classmates, I wish every single one of you nothing but the best. I am so thankful that I got to spend the last 13 years with you, and I can't think of anyone I would rather be sharing this moment with. I hope you are all as proud as I am to be walking across the stage together tonight. Thank you. And now I have the pleasure of introducing my good friend, the wonderful Mr. Andrew Church.
Thank you, Christina. Hello, friends, fellow classmates, and families. It is a surreal feeling knowing we spent our entire childhoods learning and growing together, and knowing that it has come to a close and that we are moving on in parting ways. However, what the future holds for the many brilliant minds and wonderful personalities in this room provides endless excitement. There is potential here to change the world, a world that could certainly use some changing. I'm confident that this is the dream of many, and I'm hopeful that we can maintain the drive to do so through all of the obstacles and criticism we will undoubtedly face. It has been a pleasure to associate with you wonderful people, and I wish you the best of luck with utmost confidence. I'm grateful for the influence of teachers, friends, and family because they have helped me become who I am now. I have learned the value of differing opinions and how they can help to inform their own concrete views and values. I have learned how to think, not what to think, and to question everything I read and hear. These are extremely valuable pieces to not only a sharp, conscious mind, but to a society where people can see through greed and evil and do what is right, Though a great testament to the mind of the individual, it also casts a light on the tremendous teaching and parenting, and that must be acknowledged so that it can be repeated. I urge all of my peers to seek out their dreams and to embrace family, friends, and humanity while they do it. Enjoy the important things. Don't get caught up in greed, and try not to let your life be run by a piece of paper because it isn't worth it. The only people who are truly poor are the people who only have money and nothing else. When pursuing a dream, materialism and consumerism can easily be thrown aside, so never stop encouraging each other and others that you love to follow their own. And every once in a while, I'll take a step back. Look up at the stars, reflect on what we have here, and embrace curiosity, question everything, seek answers, because this is how society grows and how discoveries are made. I believe everyone walking across the stage can achieve what they desire, and that the world will be a better place when they do. We must seek our dreams without fear of failure, because we have the ability to, and it would be a waste of our time here to not do this. A quote from evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins. We are going to die, and that makes us the lucky ones. Most people are never going to die because they are never going to be born. The potential people who could have been here in my place, but who will in fact never see the light of day, outnumber the sanguines of Arabia. Certainly those unborn ghosts include greater poets than Keats, scientists greater than Newton. We know this because the set of possible people allowed by our DNA so massively exceeds the set of actual people. In the teeth of these stupefying odds, it is you and I in our ordinariness that are here. We privileged few who won the lottery of birth against all odds. How dare we whine at our inevitable return to that prior state from which the vast majority have never stirred? We are here, and we must take advantage of that. Again, thank you to everyone that played a role, big or small, in my life. It was not only welcome, but it was necessary to get me to where I am today. I'm grateful for having met everyone of my class of 2013, and I'm very saddened to depart, but do so with a sense of pride in what we have all become. I am grateful for the teachers who taught us how to think, and for putting in countless hours with us as a class and as individuals to help us all succeed. I'm grateful for my family sticking by my side through the highs and the lows and loving me no matter what. It has been fun. And now I have the pleasure to introduce the light of my life, Cassandra Johnson.
Thank you, Annie. Well, hello, everyone. I decided to use my time tonight to talk about something that has to do with all walks of life, ambition. We have no control over the circumstances of which we are born into, but our lives are a constant reflection of the choices we make with what we're given. All too often, people are called lucky based on their home life or their financial situation. This can be a warranted though, because clearly there are people who are rich that aren't happy, and people alone in this world can still succeed. Their work ethic determines what they get out of life, which is completely in their control. The people who are truly lucky in this world are those that have internal ambition and outward support for those ambitions. In this sense of the word, I am horribly lucky, and I'm so thankful for any of you who helped me get this far. As we enter the real world, we must brace ourselves for the countless number of people who will judge us. They'll make assumptions based on what they hear or see, true or false. However, the only thing we should let them define us by is our drive. In life, you set the bar for what to strive for. You need to decide, are you just going to get by in life, or are you going to work for more, for better? For those of us going to college, strive for grades you can be proud of, or at the very least, try to remember most of what you're paying thousands of dollars for. For those in the workforce, actually earn your paycheck, and don't forget, you can always move up from here. For anyone entering the military, you're already well aware of the work ethic needed in your future, so thank you for your service and good luck. And anyone else left out there, you should probably do something more with the next 4 years than just mooch off your parents. But it really doesn't matter what I say, because the choice is yours. You will determine your own future based on what you're willing to work for. I decided to end this with 2 quotes. The first, no surprise, is by Andrew Jackson, my favorite president. Old Hickory once said, "This is my chance to do something. I must seize the moment." This is simply a reminder to take advantage of the opportunities given to us. In the right circumstances, and with the right ambition, any of us can do something great. So just go for it, whatever it is for you. And the second is from Paul Coffey. For those of you who don't know who he is, Coffey won the Stanley Cup 4 times and is a 2004 inductee into the NHL Hall of Fame. He once said, "Nobody's natural. You work to get good, and then you work harder to get better. that was obviously about hockey, but it can do with pretty much anything. If you put your time in and energy, you can get good, but you don't stop there. People with true ambition never stop putting in the work. They make sacrifices to reach a higher level. We can all live lives we can be proud of and reach that higher level in whatever we wish to do. Thank you all for your time. It is now my pleasure to call the always lovely Rachel Mitchell to the podium.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you all for coming out to support us as we move on to the next stages of our lives. I know that each of you in the audience has played an important role in the successful completion of our high school careers. Even when you don't express it, you mean more to us than you know. 4 years ago, I sat in the audience of my oldest brother's graduation ceremony. As I watched the top 10 senior class giving their speeches, I made a goal for myself. That goal was to be sitting somewhere in the back today instead of in front with the top 10, definitely not giving a speech. As you can see, that was one goal I couldn't keep. While goals are always important to keep in mind, sometimes reaching your goal isn't most important than who you do. During the course of your life, another path may present itself to you. This path may be one that doesn't exactly correspond with your goals, but it might be the right path for you. While some might automatically dismiss this alternate path because it doesn't line up with their goals, don't dismiss it without considering pros and cons. I'm asking you to contemplate all of the opportunities that life offers you. I'd like to share with you a story of a young Zen student who approaches his semester and asks, "If I work very hard, how long will it take me to reach Zen?" The master thought about it, then replied, 10 years. The student said, "But what if I work very, very hard? How long then?" The master again thought, then replied, 20 years. The student asked, "Well, what if I work very, very hard and very diligently? How long will it take me to reach Zen then?" The master replied, "Well, 30 years. "I don't understand," cried the disappointed student. "Every time I say I'll work harder, you tell me it'll take longer." The master replied, "When you only have one eye on the goal, or one eye on the path, when you have one eye on the goal, you only have one eye on the path. In no way am I asking you to not make goals or to let other things get in the way of your success. I'm not asking you to stop working diligently and applying yourself. I'm simply asking you to carefully consider each path in life, making sure that the path you choose is the right path for you." While writing this speech, my mind kept wandering back to the last day of Mrs. Michael's 10th grade global class. That day, she gave us each a copy of The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. A few lines in that poem really struck me hard. As the speaker is telling of the choices before him, he says, "Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I could ever come back." Often in life, we come to a crossroads and have to choose which way we want to go. Many times, we'll never have the opportunity to go back to choose the option we passed up. When making life's important decisions, make sure you don't regret your choice. Don't stare so intently at your goals that life's opportunities pass you by. Whether you take the road less traveled or not, make sure it is your right road. It might make all the difference. Now I have the pleasure of introducing to you Stephen Lerner, our next speaker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, I'm Stephen Barnhart. Before I begin, I'd like to give special thanks to my family for helping me get this far in life and for being here tonight. I stand here in shock that I am here at my high school graduation. When it did not seem that long ago, I was just choosing which high school I wanted to attend. Back in 8th grade, I also attended Wyoming Central School, where I class had the opportunity to visit 4 high schools and decide which high school we enjoyed the most. The 4 high schools we visited were Warsaw, Pavilion, Alexandria, and of course Attica. I cannot remember every detail of these 4 visitations, but I do recall the reason I chose Attica. Compared to the could just seem more friendly and personable. It had a certain sparkle to it. I knew within minutes that I was a Blue Devil. It is not until now that I can look back through these past 2 years and truly understand the value of this school. It's not the school itself, but the people around me within these halls, the teachers, the guidance counselors, all the faculty, and of course, the class of 2013. Through the bonds I have made with my classmates and teachers, I have been challenged and pushed to be able to achieve the 9th rank in this extremely diverse class. Not only is the majority of this class blessed with intelligence, but also a good sense of citizenship and duty. We know what is right and what is wrong, and the majority of the time we make the right choices. The teacher I would personally like to thank is both my participation in government and economics teacher, Mr. Judson. Even though I remained fairly quiet in his classes, he made me think critically and decipher information about my life and choice I make in the near future. To all members of the Attica faculty, thank you, for you made us the people we are today. I am motivated to aspire to new heights and made us think about our futures. Well, that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you all for listening. In the last regards, we finally done class of 2013. We graduated. Now, I would like to introduce my friend, Thomas Peppinger.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, everyone. You know you're from a farm town, and half of the top 10 comes from a farming family. I'd like to start by thanking everybody who has helped me get on this stage journey. My parents, siblings, and grandparents have all helped me or given me support. I could never fully repay my parents, either financially or mentally, for everything they have done for me. Thank you to my teachers for the time they put in to ensure that I put my best foot forward and for putting up with all the lying. It would be wrong of me not to recognize my friends for their help, all those times we struggled on a physics or a chemistry problem, or the times we scrambled to finish a Spanish worksheet just minutes before class. Everyone is a procrastinator at heart. Each of us on this stage will take away different things from this place. Some will take away the history lessons, others will take the physics equations, yet others will walk away with a skill in welding or carpentry. But all of us will walk away with one thing in common: the experiences with our friends. My English class is a perfect example. We had a lot of fun in that class. Yeah. I won't remember Cat on a Hot Tin Roof because of it being an American classic, but rather from all the crazy accents that my classmates use. The same can be said about our town. I still don't know why the play that takes place in New Hampshire has place for a whole bunch of southern accents. Where there's potato picking weather for sure. To me, that's what high school should be: fun experiences with friends. I started writing this speech in that very English class a couple of weeks before school ended and couldn't see how it would be possible to write that long of a speech. After the last day of school, it became easier. Clear to me what was most important. I will admit to being one of those people who thought I was excited to leave high school, go on to college, and go into the workforce. The last day was difficult though. I do not cry easily. Most Vikingers don't. When I took the last book out of my locker for the last time, my heart sank. I cried. As did most of my friends, which were a group of kids who were going to a birthday party that night and would be seeing each other in a couple of hours, seemed unnecessary. The reality of it is rather, that the largest constant of our lives is over. Sure, we will see some of the same people, but we won't have the same structure or the place where so many memories were made. Some of those memories are not happy, but have helped form who we are. High school is notorious for its drama. Friendships and relationships end, fights break out, and allegations fly. But sometimes this drama allows you for your personality to grow. I lost a close friend freshman year due to being hard-headed and stubborn. Luckily for me, this friend did not hold a grudge. When I finally realized how I had acted, we both agreed to put it all behind us. Now today, as I stand on this stage before you, this friend is one of my closest. Now he is planning to join the Navy after college and hopes to acquire one of its most dangerous jobs. I regret how I acted those first couple of years of high school, because I will never get those years with that friend back. It's made me realize that we have to spend every day like it's our lives, because with some people, maybe the last we ever spend with them. This summer is the summer for us to have fun, to live each day like the next won't come. We will say our final goodbyes, share our last jokes with each other, and maybe even cry here and there. After that, it is off to our new lives, where we will meet new people and make new memories. In past summers, I have made my work my priority, but this summer will be one for my friends. I look forward to our last months together and wish all of you the best of luck on your future endeavors. I don't know how many of you will remember this speech, one of the many you heard tonight, but I hope that you remember to forgive and forget, and never take your life or others' lives for granted. Thank you again to everybody who has helped me get here today, and thank you to all of you in the audience for your attention. I will leave you with a quote by Louis B. Smedes. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner is you. Now please welcome the valedictorian, Greg Roach.
Thank you, Tom. Vincent Lombardi once said, "Winning isn't everything, it is the only thing." And I couldn't agree more. But in doing so, I must challenge the definition of winning. So I ask all of you, what does winning mean to you? Is it simply beating an opponent in a competition, or can it be more? Isn't every young adult sitting on this stage tonight a winner? For they've done what it takes to graduate high school. Winning is a matter of perspective. I believe that participating in commencement is an accomplishment that we should all be proud of. Victory seems to be a simple concept and easily overlooked. But I believe that when we truly examine it, it becomes starkly apparent that there is no matter more essential to our lives. I believe that victory is achieved whenever someone improves him or herself or another person. Every day of our lives is filled with countless little victories, whether they're getting correct answers in class, making good plays in sporting events, or simply doing good deeds. And they add up to the major achievements in life. Every one of you sitting on the stage this evening has achieved enough tiny little victories to have graduated high school. You have won. But now is not the time to become lax or to stop striving for excellence. Now is the time to boost your efforts and to improve in as many ways as possible. In high school, many of the challenges are solid, apparent, and determined for you. Attending school, passing classes and finals in order to graduate. As we grow older, however, the obstacles we will have to overcome to achieve success will grow more indistinct. As our goals and future plans become more individualized, so do the stipulations for personal and professional success. Despite this fact, the requirements of being a successful person overall will remain largely the same. We will also need to strive to be the best people we can be, because that is what success is truly about. Success is about money, possessions, or fame. Success is about being a good person and living a full, complete, and happy life. There are many ways to happiness in life, and many career opportunities and life choices to be made along the way. But that does not change the focus of the ultimate goal. I believe for a person to truly be considered a great success, they should be able to look back on their life at the end of their years and think, I lived the best life I could. This does not mean that everyone needs to be perfect. In fact, no one will live a perfect life. There will always be periods of rain in between the sunshine. But the essential lesson is that you must not let the hardships and failures define you. You must use the challenges in your life to boost yourself to new heights and grow as an individual. We will each face different obstacles in our separate lives, but I know that as a class we can and we will overcome them and ultimately emerge victorious. Success cannot be achieved alone. You will need the support of your family, friends, and many other people throughout your life. This has been true throughout our lives, and we would not be sitting on the stage this evening if it wasn't for the efforts of others. I would like to personally thank my family, especially my father, mother, and brothers for bringing Colton. I would also like to thank my friends, classmates, teachers, and other adults in my life for all that they have contributed to my many successes. I will always be proud to call myself a member of the Attica Senior High graduating class of 2013. And I know that we are, and always will be, winners. Thank you.